Government's mission to remove all asbestos roof has kicked off in the Free State. Now, the province came under the spotlight, you will remember, in 2014 after it emerged that government allegedly used a flawed process to offer a contract to replace the hazardous roofs. It is believed that the current work will cost billions of rand. But for more on this, let's speak to the Provincial MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Moses Ketso Makume. A very good morning to you, MEC Makume. Thank you for joining us on the SA Morning today. Now, South Africans are probably listening to this and they're saying, well, it is about time. This project is way overdue as far as timelines are concerned. Talk to us why it's a priority to remove the asbestos from the roofs. MEC, could you kindly put your mic on unmute? I think you're muted. We can't hear you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Morning, Sister Tammy, and morning to your viewers. You will remember that in 2008, the government took a decision to remove all asbestos in South Africa because of the health hazards that they cause to the humankind. Number two, it is because it was not in line with the new human settlement system. Unfortunately, in 2014, when that project was implemented in the Free State, we were subjected to corrupt activities that delayed the project or the revitalization of the human settlement. Now, we've taken a decision in April during our budget injunctions that we need to remove all the asbestos in the Free State in a multi-year program that is going to last for 3 years. So in this financial year, we're aiming at working towards around 79 million project. That will be the first phase. The phases involved, amongst other things, the verification where we have asbestos, but number two, the actual removal and the disposal of such. And then the other thing, it is the involvement of communities in these projects. So it is very much important that our communities get involved in order to ensure that they take ownership of such project to avoid what has happened in 2014, but to ensure that communities always become part of decision-making process towards their own development. So that is why it is important for us to remove all the asbestos.
So you say it's going to happen over 4 years, and phase one is where you're starting now. That's going to cost 79 million rand. What is the budget for the entire program over the 4 years?
It is going to be 79 multiplied by 3, Sister. The work has been divided that it be equitable to every phase that we are going to do. The other thing is to ensure that there is accountability. But why we are also doing this is because of the capacity. If we had enough capacity, we would have wanted to have finished these things in this financial year. But unfortunately, because of incapacities, we are unable to. That is why we've decided to divide it into 3. But also we've taken from other provinces that have started before in 2014, when we had our own unfortunate situation as the Free State. They've also taken a multiple-year project.
So I brought up my calculator, and 79 times 3, that comes up to 237 million rand. That is just slightly less than what has already been spent on this project, which is 255 million rand for that feasibility study. Are there any lessons and learnings that you can take from that era as far as the usage, first of all, of the funds, but perhaps more importantly, the procurement to ensure that you actually employ the right people and that issues of corruption do not once again plague the Free State?
Thank you very much, Sister. What we have decided is that we took away the implementing part from the department. We have appointed the DBSA to be our implementing agent. So the DBSA is helping us with appointing what we call the PSP. The PSP is professional service providers. The removal of asbestos is not just an ordinary work. it needs some special skills to be done. So, and there are only designated companies in this country that are allowed to remove the asbestos because of the risk and the health hazards that they cause to the humankind. So that is why, that is point number one that we have tried to cover. Number two is the issue of consequence management. In the olden days, when wrong things were done, there were no consequence management. But we have taken a decision, a conscious decision as the department, that we need to put in place mechanisms and systems that will ensure that there is consequence management, not only for officials of the department, but including companies that are working on the projects. Number three, it's our working together with municipalities. In the olden days, it will only be the department and the communities. But what we have done now is to also bring the local government, which is the government closer to our people, to become part of this project, the removal of asbestos. But number four, it is also to involve communities. I want to emphasize this thing, Sister Tammy, because communities, that is where projects are taking place. They are the ones who are supposed to pick up at the earliest point when there are wrong things with their own projects that are able or that are enabling them to advance their development. So their involvement, it will also interact with the private sector or the service providers that have been appointed. So what we have done now is to ensure that we create a conducive working relationship between ourselves as the department, municipalities, and the service providers that have been appointed and communities, so that we are able to ensure that everyone is going to account. We're also putting in place the project steering committees that are going to evaluate and monitor this project right from the word go. Once we have started to appoint, there are issues of appointments of CLOs, there will be that monitoring and evaluation. And the MEC and the mayors of those local municipalities, every fortnight they will get reports on the progress made, challenges, and the achievements.
One thing, MEC, that South Africans are probably asking themselves is, how are you going to root out the rot within your structures yourselves? Because we've seen throughout the Zondo Commission and with the reports that those implicated, many of them were actually working within government offices, all the way up to the Premier of the Free State at the time, who was implicated in this. So how are you going to make sure that you yourselves are actually not the problem here?
Number one is exactly what I've said, Sister Tammy. Just get as many people as possible in the project in relation to monitoring and evaluation. But number two is to put place systems that does not allow any wrongdoing. You know, the problem is that you allow just a small wrongdoing and it grows bigger. And there's no time now to actually react to a bigger problem than if we would have nipped from the bud whilst the problem was starting. So what we have decided as the department is to ensure that we put all those systems in place to ensure that we avoid being in a very wrong situation, like the ugly situation that happened in 2014. But the case in court now, it's one example that shows that the department is serious about these things. We have already suspended some of the officials in the departments who were involved in this thing in relation to the asbestos. And they are also attending cases. We're also putting the SIU in all our projects. We have also invited the AG. What is the AG doing is to ensure that every time we appoint capable people who are not going to have so many audit queries. We're also responding to audit queries on time in this time around to avoid a lot of problems that are emerging.
MEC, where's the money for this asbestos project going to be coming from? Because South Africans can very rightly say that that 255 million rand, that's their taxpayers' money that they've already paid for a project that did not happen. Where is the financing for this initial 79 million rand and I guess the entire 237 million rand going to come from?
Okay, the first point is that we are in court because we want those who have done things wrong, they should pay back the money. That's the first thing. But the second thing, our people deserve not to stay under asbestos. Therefore, we went to the Treasury and the National Department of Human Settlement. We requested them that because we are taking steps to recruit the money back, can't you, at least for the benefit of our people, because it is not our people who are on the wrong side. It is those individuals as private companies and individuals who are in officials and individuals who are in the executive authority who are involved in corrupt activities. Can we save our people from those ones and have money so that the project can continue? We should then be able to remove the asbestos. The reason we're also removing asbestos are not part of the human settlements. This time we'll remember that the department in the past used to be called the Department of Housing, but it has been called the Department of Human Settlement so that our people are settled humanly. It is true that it is people's money, but it is money that we are eager to ensure that it is being returned. That is why we are in court with those who are on the wrong side of the law or alleged to be on the wrong side of the law.
As I let you go, MEC, are there any benefits, or have there been any benefits as far as maybe information, infrastructure, whatever the case may be, that could have been derived from that 255 million rand that has already been spent for that feasibility study? Are you going to be able to use any information from that moving forward?
Look, I will be lying to you if I can say there were benefits or not. The reason why the matter ended up in court and what the Zondo Commission commented on, it is because really the actual beneficiaries did not. You remember that the project just ended up on the stage when they were still doing a pilot project. So I can strictly say only people that pilot project was done to them have benefited. But what we are trying to do now is to ensure the more involvement of our communities. With our communities being part or taking an active role, it is going to avoid a lot of wrong things. The problem is that our people, they don't take an active role in their own development. So we are appealing to them now to take an active role so that they report these things as early as possible.
As far as timelines are concerned, MEC, as I let you go, when can we expect to see phase one completed? When can we come and perhaps do a verification and a check of the work that has been done so far?
Okay. I will announce to the public of South Africa that now in the Free State, we have started with the first phase, the verification and the piloting and how part the asbestos are being removed. Asbestos are not just being removed. I mean, for an example, to remove an asbestos, it has to be wet. You need to water it so that when you remove it, the dust does not affect those who are closer to you as and when you work. So these are some of the things that are being done to our communities. But municipalities such as Machabeng and
unfortunately,
are working.
Unfortunately, MEC, time is not on our side. So just before I let you go, months, years, any dates that you can give us?
No, it's just a matter of 3 weeks from now on. We are from Machabeng, they've committed to launch soon. Metsimaholo, they've committed to launch soon. And it's going to take a 3 year, it's going to be a 3 year project. I met with most the project, the service providers, they have committed to finish this project on time.
Thank you so much for the update and for the information on this very important project that's taking place, which is the removal of asbestos roofs in the Free State. That's the Free State MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, MEC Moses Ketso Makume.